Hi, it's Marilyn O'Malley, and I thought I'd shoot you a video today talking about how the law of attraction works and why it doesn't work on its own. It works with you, and that it requires you to transform your life for you to achieve what it is you desire. So I'm going to use a story of how I created and manifested this ring in my life. And I didn't know it was this ring. I just knew I wanted a ring. I wanted a ring that represented, number one, how much I had grown in my life. I had left a relationship, a 24-year relationship with my ex, and moved across country and recreated myself. And I did that because I knew that was my next step, and that I needed to do that to really be happy and be me. And so I wanted something that represented that, and then I also wanted something that represented my current relationship that I'm in with my partner Jeff. And the idea was I wanted this ring. I had a feeling of what the ring felt like. I desired that it be given to me by Jeff, and that it represent a commitment of our relationship and where we were going. So I put out the desire, I talked to friends about it, and I let it go. Other than periodically, I really trust my intuition. So periodically my intuition would say, go in this jewelry store. And I'm not a big jewelry person, but the things that I do have meaning for me. My children give me my earrings. These bracelets are energetic. And this, as I explained to you, has great meaning to me. So periodically, my intuition would say, go in this jewelry store. And I would try on different rings. And none of them felt right. It just didn't feel. I was looking at magazines periodically, but nothing just seemed like a fit. And I wanted to say too, I was looking at small stones, and I wasn't looking for a diamond. I wanted another gem that represented who I was and that had a strong vibrational resonance with me. And I was trying on rings that were maybe the stone was, the size of a pencil eraser or smaller, and thin bands, and just nothing fit. And I'd say about a year ago, I guess I want to add in here too, I never gave up that I knew I was going to have this ring, that this ring was going to happen. And I wasn't set, either I was going to give it to myself or Jeff would give it to me. So I wasn't like, this is how it has to be, I was, okay, this is organically going to happen, and it's going to happen as we go along. Now, so as these years are passing on, what's happening with me is I am growing more and expanding more in my energy and who I am, and how I see myself and how I'm expressed. And the feeling kept coming along, and what I wanted this ring to represent was that I was a queen. And so here's the thing. It's like I had this desire, and it represents this energy to me. Well, I had to grow into that energy. So any way that I was not being a queen in my life that represented what this ring was to me energetically, I had to grow personally and experience that. So what I had to do is through different circumstances, experiences, I had to see where I had blocks. I had to see where I had money blocks. I had to see where I had self-esteem, worthiness blocks. I had, so all the places that were blocking me internally, and how I was seeing and experiencing myself, and how I was seeing and experiencing the world, needed to be addressed so that I could more fully be the queen and that the energy that I am. And as I remove those, my natural essence and energy life force energy started moving up and taking over, and I could wear that that energy much more authentically. You know, I knew it as me. It wasn't a question mark. It wasn't a fake it till you make it. It was like I was stepping into the role one step at a time, one step at a time, earning it, removing those fears and worries and doubts, and then around attaining it. You know, am I worthy of this ring? Am I really making it up? Am I worthy of Jeff giving it to me? Is our relationship worthy of that? And that was the other thing, because this was a relationship ring. All the things that Jeff, and not all the things because it will continue on because we're continually growing, but all the things between when I first decided that, and I shared that with Jeff, and until I ended up getting this ring, there were things in our relationship that we had to resolve, that we each had to grow. He had to do his growing so he could be able to give it to me, so that he could, you know, fully step into his commitment to our relationship, because this was a powerful representative of that. And the same thing for me, so that I could fully, what do I desire from this relationship? How committed am I? Where am I not committed? Where am I not being vulnerable? And so through those years, all this work is happening. Circumstances are happening. I'm growing. He's growing, right? And then and that's very important. I want to share too, like these things some things can happen very quickly because you're ready for it, you know, and you just haven't seen it, but you've done all the work prior, and it's boom, all of a sudden the desire, and it comes right in. And then there's other things like this ring that take time, or relationships, you know, you have to grow into that person that will attract that man into your life that will treat you the way that you want to be treated. So I just want to say it takes time. So don't say that the law of attraction isn't working if you don't get something right away. And also, if the law of attraction isn't working for you, you know, you're taking this, you're clear on what it is that you desire, you've made your dream boards, you're working on your mindset, and you're thinking the right things. But if you're not feeling it, and you are part of this recipe, so if you are not transforming, if you are not changing, if your alchemy inside and your energy is not changing, then it will not work, because you are the main ingredient in this recipe of creation, right? So, so that's the point I wanted to make. So then what happened again, so we're in the third year, and we're coming into it, and all of a sudden I get this intuition. I was out on the town with some girlfriends, and I get this intuition, this strong pull to go into this jewelry store, this very high-end jewelry store, and I just couldn't resist it, and I tried because I was with friends, and it was just, anyway, I end up going into this jewelry store, and I'm wandering around, and I'm seeing, and all of a sudden I see this stone, tanzanite. This is what this is, tanzanite, and I fall in love. I'm like, oh my gosh. And there were two rings there, a smaller one and a larger one. And so I tried on the smaller one first, and it was like, no. And then I tried on the larger one, and it was like Cinderella with a slipper. It was like, oh my God, this is my ring. This is my ring. And my friends were with me, and it just happened. It was a night that they had champagne in there, and we had champagne. It was like, this is my ring. And so went back home, took pictures of it, everything, showed Jeff, this is my ring. This feels, you know, I felt like Cinderella. And, you know, and Jeff's a little freaking out. And so anyway, because not all of our work was complete, this was like the next step, like, okay, we're closer now. We have the stone, we know around the size, you know, I can own it, I can ask for it, I've grown. And now the next thing that was happening was really the blockbuster to our relationship, the tipping point. And it was like the coming together, and, you know, him doing his work and me doing my work. And there was, you know, an event in there that happened that was like, yeah, we don't know. Is this good, that challenged both of us to take a really deep look at our relationship. And then, we saw that, we do love each other, we are committed to each other, and it was like, stepping over that, not straddling the fence any longer. It's like, let's step into this, and more fully, and that was the more authentic thing for both of us to do, as well as very vulnerable for both of us to do. And so, I just want to share, there's turmoil that when, there is challenges that come up, but those challenges are not to take me down or him down or you down. So I want you to get clear that those challenges come up because it reflects back to you, here's where you need to do this clearing in your life so that you can have what it is that you do desire. And so then after that happened, and we, worked on our stuff together, then Jeff, said, let's design your ring, because that was another thing, is that things I want, there to be symbolism in there. And Jeff and I are both birders, and that's one of the things that we have in common. And I collect feathers, and I'm very much a nature girl, and so is he. And so everything in this ring represents all of the elements. And so I have the stone and the metal, and then I have feathers carved on here, and then I have the circle for the ocean, a feather for the air, and I have a heart on here for our love for each other, and also passion in life, and the fire of life. And I just love this ring. So anyway, I wanted to share how that came about, and he helped to design it, and he bought it for me, and it's our commitment to each other, and it also represents to me how far the queen that I am in my life, and how far I've come, and that I am a master of manifestation in my life. I am responsible for that. And so I want you to realize this story of the ring, like anything. I think if you go back and you look at your life and all the things that you've accomplished, whether it was putting yourself through school, or buying a home, or having the idea of creating a family, and the children that you would have, and the husband that you would have, and creating that life, or the business, or how to put it all together. You can just substitute whatever for the ring, and just see that, all those things that were coming up were just for me to grow, so I could have what it is that I desire. So, and I just want it to be very apparent to you that how important it is for you to change yourself and understand, and that takes work and consistency and persistence. And I want to say too, it's like, I don't do this on my own. I have coaches. I have support from people that have been prior coaches in my life, or good friends that I trust to hold the space for me to go through and give me good counsel. And I have other mentors and coaches who pull me forward, who say, this is possible. You might not think it or know it now, but this is possible. And so keep going, keep stretching. And so I keep saying so much. Anyway, I just thought I would share this information with you, and I hope it's helpful, and that you get a better idea about how you are responsible. You're the big part of the law of attraction, So, and what you think is important, but also what you feel, and that you are clearing out the old, or breaking through the old programming that is not true, is not who you are, and is blocking you from taking those actions or thinking the being happy in your life, feeling prosperous in your life, feeling joy and expansion and aliveness and juiciness. So I wish that for you, and I hope this helps. So take care, have a great week, and please respond and share this if you like, but I'd love to hear your comments.